So, hi, first of all, but I just saw this post where someone was talking about how they became some sort of like artist as a like a defensive mechanism um, from like the rest of the world. Like, oh, when I'm an artist, people treat me a certain way, and I wanted to make this video because I relate to the statement. I always wanted to make the video because I wanted to share what I've learned since I was in that energy many, many moons ago. Because before it was like, when I'm performing, I get to be an elevated version of myself, Not that, now there's some people who create completely different personas and all that. I feel that I'm just like an unhinged version where no one's telling you to turn down, no one's telling you you're too loud or this and that and all that. So I would go on stage, and those who've seen that part of my journey when I was in that stage of my life and I was doing shows all the time, open mic, if there was a stage, a microphone, put me there, I'm doing it. Comedy, music, whatever it is, I'm there, right? What I realized, and it really helped me with COVID because I was performing so much that it was like the trajectory was like, oh my God, right? And then COVID happened and it put everything to a halt. And I was really upset and even in denial because I was like, dude, I'm doing so much. Like, how could this happen even? And something that I even thought about was, well, when I'm on stage, I'm this free person, right? And I have this energy and everyone loves it and all that. But then once I get off the stage, after people tell me good job and you great performance and all that, I didn't really know what to say. I didn't know how to communicate with people. I didn't know how to um express interest or solve conflicts or whatever it was to the best of my ability, right? Um, and I realized that the person I am on stage isn't who I am off stage, right? And the more I started healing myself to be better off stage, the less I needed to be on stage. For example, like, uh, I don't know, once you start taking care of yourself, you start doing the things that actually make you happy. For instance, let's say like, oh, for me, I wanted to impress somebody or prove someone wrong. Oh, this ex, I'm about to turn up on them. Or, oh, I want to perform so this person would be interested in talking to me or whatever reason. And the difference is that none of those problems ever got solved from me being on stage. If anything, me throwing an event or me performing or something takes away from spending time with the person I care about. Um, so if that was the reason, I end up putting on this event and doing all this stuff, and now I'm not actually even able to spend time with this person because I have put so much on my plate that I need to take care of, right? Or let's say the revenge thing, where it doesn't matter how much success I would have gotten or have gotten and succeeded in. I can't press some buttons right now. My laptop's not set up. Uh, that I would have succeeded in because I don't know, like it doesn't, nothing will fill that void more than a heartfelt apology from someone who did something wrong. Nothing fills the void more than actually spending time with that person that you care about. So let's say I wanted to impress someone in New York, so I booked a show in New York and I'm performing in New York. You gotta pull up and do this and do that. And I gotta look cool and look like I have friends. And oh, we're doing this and we're going here. Or I could have just invited the person to lunch or dinner and then invited them over and actually spend quality time with them and get to know them as a human being versus as this avatar we have created. Now, the thing about it is the more you spend time as your avatar, the more you're actually hurting your true self, which is why you'll see that in even Avatar: The Last Airbender, where it's like, Aang, Korra, the sequel, why aren't you just in avatar state the whole time? Because it takes so much energy to put on that avatar state. And sure, you can do anything in avatar state, but does it, I'm not going to say does it matter, because yeah, it can help a lot of times, but if we can accomplish sometimes the most basic stuff without having to get hyped up, without having to get dressed up, without having to do this and do that and do all these things, does it matter? Right? That's what we have to ask ourselves. So another example, all these people who are hard, like studio gangsters, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and blah 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 blah, and then they get killed on the street because they don't really move like that, right? They're not. They think this shit is just for music and this, that, and the other, and then you see your friend get killed, and then shit gets real, or you get hit, shit's real, right? And that's what I felt with Fulio's spirit, is that, yo, a lot of people, they get put into this position, not because they even want to, but they feel that they have to. Let me create this persona as a defensive mechanism. And someone who has done that, I would like to say it does not pan out. Why? Because let's see Diddy and all these other celebrities, you're going to see more come down because they've created this persona to help quote unquote heal whatever it is that they're missing inside. But in reality, it's like Venom. Exactly. Like Venom and Spider-Man. So those who aren't familiar, Venom is a symbiote from wherever the fuck it came from and whatever Spider-Man decides to have it come from. So I can't say it came from, but it's a symbiote and it takes over your body. Those are universally the things that happen, right? So as you see in a lot of the Venom stories, that it starts taking over the host body cell by cell. So Eddie Brock, who has gotten it in one of the stories, right, and primarily a character, I'm just sharing one of the stories in one of the comics, they had cancer or something, and the symbiote of Venom start healing the cancer, right? Quote unquote healing the cancer. Eddie started feeling better and, it didn't feel as sick, quote unquote. Now, towards the end, they weren't actually healing. It was the symbiote taking over their original cells. So it came to a point where Eddie themselves were about to die, and it was only going to be the symbiote only. And I'll let you read this comic, but the reason I bring that up is that Fame and these avatars are very similar. And people tell me all the time, they go, Quartz, like, you're the only person I've met that is actually like who they say they are on Instagram. And it's like, trust me, I can't even be myself on social media, which is really interesting because social media is usually a heightened version of people. But for me, it's a very, very watered down version because I now have to put clothes on. I now, typically can't smoke or whatever. I'm going to get flagged. I can't talk about this. I can't talk about that. I can't talk about politics. Can't talk about, let's say, COVID. Can't talk about fucking what really happens in the world and shit like that. Can't talk about it. So I give you, which is interesting, again, where most people would think is a heightened version of myself, but it's actually a very, very lowered version of myself, because the true version that exists is the energy can't be held, right? And I got to that version by letting my avatar self go and going, it's not that, again, it's not, I'm literally sitting in the studio. Like, how many, blah, 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 but how many people have a studio at home, right? Where they can create music whenever they want to, whatever music they want, whenever they want to, right? So many people need writers and need a team and need influence and, oh, this is good, and oh, make a song like this. I make music to express myself, right? And when I let go of that avatar and seeking the approval as the avatar, oh, I need to make music like this, I need to do something like this, and I need to do this, this, and this. I then found other revenues to solve other avenues to solve my problem. And what do I mean by that? I meant that, all right, I want to make music and I want to be rich and this, and this, and blah, 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 blah. All right, well, or let's say even famous too, right? So now, and hello, I just have to share that. It's still, we just got it because I love it that much. Haven't even opened it. And again, just even being able to have enough resources to just buy something and not use it just because I like it, right? But, all right, so I go, all right, music and this, and this, and they go, all right, in order to do music, it's all about followers. You need like 10,000 followers or whatever. And they set this, I had like 1,000 something, 1,500 maybe, right? So I'm going, oh, fuck, I got to get more followers. So I need to do this. You got to do trends and this. And I realized that's not really me, right? So then I realized, okay, so what are the problems that I actually have? Well, I want to have a family. I want to find authentic love. I want to heal the trauma from the past. I want to genuinely be able to connect with people and build a community and have a space where I feel safe, right? To be my full self, right? And again, my full self is not Instagram. I have to come into a corner of the house and dial it down so I can even share thoughts, right? So once I started solving those other problems, the music was still there, right? The difference is that now the music comes to whatever I feel like making, which is where a big lesson with the dogs being stolen was, okay, I have this song and I have this EP I just finished, and we literally are sending it to the label. We're putting the finishes touches on it. And we're working on the video. We're about to, we have a whole game plan. We're about to drop this, and the dogs get stolen. And I go, all right. And people ask, they're like, you put Living the Party on Instagram and all the platforms. Where the fuck is the video on everything, right? Well, all that shit was the plan. Dropped it, was about to drop the video. Boom, go and do all this shit. Dogs are stolen. Guess what? I'm not feeling very living the party right now. Let's be honest, right? And I had to ask myself, do I continue with the plan and go, a loss is a loss. We need to keep moving. Living the party is a single. We need to go ahead with the single, and we need to keep moving forward. And I was like, no, I can't live with myself knowing that if I didn't even try or give it 100% my effort to bring the dogs back, that, all right, yeah, I have, let's say, 1 million views and $1 million and shows and all that stuff, right? But I wouldn't have my dogs, so it wouldn't mean anything to me. And now we got Loli through doing the music of going, okay, I still want to do music. I still want to be creative. This is what's actually on my heart. So I made a song after putting up the posters, after doing everything and all that shit, and feeling like it was the end. And within 3 days, someone called, hey, we seen your video. I think we bought your dog. What? Crazy. We got Loli back. Loli on my lap is the answer to that. And that's the music I've been putting out. Where my dog's at and Loli on my lap, right? While I'm sitting on some of the best music you might even hear, now. Like, I'm just being honest. And it's not even being, oh, this, and this. It's just everything is so recycled everywhere you hear. It's nice to hear something fresh. And I always shock myself when I listen to it. I'm like, damn, I need to release this. But timing, right? But I have to stop and go, yo, my avatar that I create, oh, the living party and this, and this, and which is me, yes. But also, what are my real life problems? And if we can't solve our real life problems, our avatar doesn't, right? And then you become like Diddy, where your avatar becomes so egotistical and so in the spotlight and so self absorbed because it's a survival mechanism that you surround yourself with yes men, and eventually you fall. And when you fall, guess what? You'll be back at the beginning, and those problems you had when you started still are not solved, right? So if I'm a gangster rapper and I get on the track and I diss a bunch of people and all that shit, and yeah, maybe I'm hot for a little bit, but the heat dies down. I'm not bringing in as much money in. I'm caught outside, right? I got the same problems I had before. I got the same ops I had before. And they want the same smoke before, right? They're not gonna be like, oh. Especially they probably want even more smoke because you turned up and you were successful for a little bit. Maybe it didn't stay that long, right? Maybe we ran out of money because we did this, and this, right? Now the difference is, right, the avatar that you have to keep feeding and feeding with feeding and feeding and feeding with a new song and more hype, because the avatar doesn't run off you healing. It runs off the energy that people give it. And now that attention distracts us from our problems. So when we get to our actual problems, we have no idea what the fuck to do, right? Me going into the studio then bring my daughter that I lost in childbirth back, right? And I made some really good songs in the studio. Did not happen. You know what happened? Us having a fucking baby, doing it the natural way with just the two of us. Oh shit, that solved a lot of fucking problems. That healed me a lot because I actually did the thing that was hurting. I didn't come up with a distraction that made me feel good and boosted my ego, because at the end of the day, our ego gets inflated so much, and then once we have some time alone and we sit in our thoughts, we get depressed. Why are we getting depressed so much? Oh, I need to call the homies and, they're gonna blah 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 blah, they're my friends. No, the homies just want you to do whatever to distract them from their problems, right? So to wrap it all up, all I'm saying is the more we solve our problems in our regular state, right, the more we elevate to the point of that avatar that we're creating, right? Just naturally off that energy. So, like I said about fame and all that stuff, I don't need to be famous. If I walk in anywhere, everyone's looking at me. And that's not an egotistical thing. It's my hair, it's my energy, it's how I dress, it's how I present myself. I can go up and talk to anybody and go, hey, what's up, right? But before, I'd be like, oh my God, they don't know who I am. I need to do more shows. I need to have more posters so someone can come up and talk to me and compliment me. And that starts a conversation. And then I can talk about how awesome I am and they can fall in love with me, right? Come on, when you say it out loud, it sounds kind of crazy, right? All right. So either way, just spend some time healing ourselves. All that other stuff, the music, the games, the fun, relationships, sex, whatever, it comes with it later, right? But if we are so hyper focused on just creating something to avoid our problems, it's only going to get larger and larger, and those problems are going to sit there. And then eventually, sometimes we might cross a bridge for a problem we might not be able to solve again. We might not be able to tell our parents we love them or we forgive them for whatever. We might not be able to say sorry to that person or even create an opportunity for them to say sorry to us, right? Because I've been so on the road and distracted and I'm not da 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 da. Everyone acts so fucking tough, especially on social media. I'm this, I'm a boss bitch, and blah 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 blah, and a real ass nigga. But who are you with the cameras off? Who are you when you right before you're about to go to sleep at night? Who are you in your dream world? You know? I don't know. That's all I gotta share. As someone who thought that me doing the music is gonna solve my problems and babies or whatever, but realistically, me solving my problems solved my fucking problems. And now I get to be on 4 acres. I get to have land. I get to have multiple vehicles and own the shit, not fucking leases and shit like that. I get to have my own DJ board and my own equipment and speakers and lights and all that shit. And I don't gotta fucking pay for studio time. And I'm not signing to a label because I'm insecure in myself that I need outside validation, right? Even though they're fucking me over. I know they're fucking me over. I know it's a bad contract, but I get to say that I signed with a label. I get that extra attention I was looking for. It's not going to solve your problems. It's not going to solve your daddy issues, your mommy issues, your uncle issues, your fucking self-love issues. It's not going to solve any of that shit, right? The only thing that solves it is solving it. So maybe if we did music to help solve our problems, we might get there. But a lot of times we use music to create this avatar of who we want to be, right? And sometimes it works. Sometimes you manifest things into your life, but manifestation works both ways. So if we are manifesting just party, 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 okay, we manifest a bunch of parties, but did it solve anything? All right, we're manifesting gangster, 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 gangster. Sure, we got a bunch of money and bought a bunch of guns, but did it solve anything? Did it bring our homie back? Or did we actually lose a couple more homies because we continue to push this gangster shit? Trust me, country people have land and guns and vehicles and all sorts of shit. You never see them niggas dying. Morgan Wallen shot outside a club. Luke Bryan, car shot up. No. All right. So we can't really say it's our environment when we get the money and we can leave the environment. We still don't do shit, right? It is what it is, right? So as I hold the avatar in the Legend of Korra, do what's best for you on an every single day basis, not an avatar heightened version of ourselves basis, right? Otherwise, again, like I said, at the end of the day, we're still going to be sad. And what are we supposed to do? Just hide until we go on stage each time? Hide until when we go outside, we create this character until we can't do it anymore, and then we kill ourselves? Ask Robin Williams. Ask these comedian legends and all that stuff. Trust me, it's not the path we want to go down. So, again, fuck, I know, I'm just some god fucking in the middle of the woods or some shit. Y'all have fun. Be safe. I'm sending love. And again, I'm not putting anyone down. I'm just speaking from my own personal experience because I went through the same exact shit, right? Solve our problems. Learn how to be a good human being. And trust me, that will take you further than anything else because the money goes. But those connections and shit where you actually help somebody and you actually could, you know, elevated someone's energy or their experience in this lifetime lasts forever. So much love and light. Stay woke.